needed Mr. Perfect and he still screwed me over. Story time. Wendell seemed great. He was taking me on really cute dates. We were having awesome conversations. He was going to school to be a therapist. And he was so different from the guys that I had dated before, which seemed like the right move. He was very feminine, inward and outward, and I liked that. He was open with me about how his closest friends were all girls, and I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, the thing that I liked the most about him was that he was so honest and seemingly very self-aware and emotionally intelligent. One night he planned something for me to actually meet his closest friends, and I was really excited to meet them because he had been talking about them forever. The plan was for us to stop at one of his friends' houses where everyone was meeting up to pregame, and then we were gonna go downtown and we probably went to a bar or a club or something. But when we got to his friends' houses, everyone was really standoffish with me, and I was trying so hard to be like, hey, it's so nice to meet you, and everyone was just very much like, hi. And I just took it as okay, it's like meeting his sisters. You know what I mean? They're girls, I'm a girl, they're probably gonna be kind of protective. So when it was time to go downtown, it turned into a long conversation where he decided that we needed to take an Uber because we were drinking, which is very responsible, okay? Usually how my friends did it is legally you can have 2 drinks and drives. And usually we didn't drink more than that. We weren't even drinking that much with him tonight. But we ended up doing the responsible thing that he suggested, and we took an Uber there and Ubers back to our respective homes. And we didn't stay out long because he was always very particular about his bedtime. Okay, but I understood. He was in college and he worked, and I know that's insanely hard. I had to drop out of college to work, and he was doing both, and props to anyone who can juggle both of those things, because that's insane. I was used to him having his bedtime that he was very particular about, whatever. So he periodically was telling me how much he liked me and how much he saw this going somewhere. Because although he did suggest that we become exclusive, we were not official. And I was very hesitant going into this because I had been hurt in the past and I didn't want to go through that again. I lived alone and didn't have much family, so every time a guy got my hopes up and then it didn't work out, it was really hard for me because it was okay, now I have to go back to being alone all the time. And I mean alone. When I got sick, I had no one to go run an errand for me and get me some medicine. Nothing like that. And one time when I was with him, I did get sick, and he was like, oh, if I need to, I'll take care of you. And him just saying that was a lot for me. That meant a lot. And he kept making these gestures, telling me that he was falling for me and posting about me on his Finsta. And he even got us tickets to go see one of his favorite bands, which was playing in town just after a road trip that we planned together. Because see, I told him how I wanted to try to get to Colorado so I could see my family after my sister had a baby and my mom was visiting from another state. He said he also had family out there. So we decided to go on a road trip together, split the cost, split the driving, and while we were in Colorado, we would also go enjoy some stuff that there is to do out there. Seems like a perfect plan. So a couple months go by from the time that we plan it, and now it's time to go on this trip. Now, he had traveled a little bit more than me, so he knew places that we could stop and see really cool views. We stopped in this little town that had a bunch of artsy stuff around, and we went to a coffee shop out there. We even stopped at a dinosaur museum at one point. And so again, I was like, this guy is fun. This is cool. The vibe had been a little bit off the past couple weeks, but I knew that he was just stressed out with school. He was almost about to be doing finals and stuff like that. So I figured everything was fine. So to get to Colorado from where I live, it's 2 full days of driving. You have to stop and sleep somewhere in between. And he happened to have some cousins that lived somewhere in between, so we made plans to go stay with them for a night. On the way there, I was feeling really optimistic and really happy that I was having this quality time with him. I was feeling like this was the beginning of a long relationship. It always felt good to have that kind of quality time with anyone, any of my friends, going on a road trip like that, because like I said, I lived alone. So to spend entire days and nights with someone that I really liked, platonic or otherwise, was always really exciting for me. I was pretty happy. Until. So it's our first day driving. Our first day of this trip, right? And we're just talking in the car, and he's talking about what he wants to do after he graduates college, which is a couple months away. And he mentions how his best friend, who was a girl, was moving out of state, and she offered the idea of him trying to get a job where she's moving and they could be roommates in another state. He was just telling me this it was just a cool thing. Oh, I might go live in another state. I didn't feel like it was the right time to say anything. I didn't want to, I don't know, he was excited and I didn't want to be but what about me? Which I probably should have, because what? But I was heartbroken. My heart had been shattered in that moment. But It gets worse. So now I am shattered on the inside, and now I'm going to meet his cousins and have to stay the night at someone's house and pretend like everything's cool while I'm like crying on the inside. So we were staying with his male cousin and his girlfriend, who were both around our age. The girlfriend was very hospitable. I guess they had been together for a really long time, so she knew Wendell and like all of their family, and she was showing me photos that she had of everybody and all of it, okay? And she understandably kept referring to me as Wendell's girlfriend, and including me in all of these ideas for different visits and things like that, which was just like a punch in the gut every time. So that night, Wendell and I had to sleep on like a twin-size blow-up mattress together, and I tried to be still as I cried my eyes out. So the next day, we start driving again, and now we're on our way to Colorado. I wait a few hours, and at some point, I'm like, can I ask you something? And I say, when you were talking about moving to California, where does that leave us? And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I genuinely didn't think about it. Which is crazy, because first of all, he seemed really like smart. And second of all, he was going to school for psychology and wanted to be a therapist. And you didn't think about that? You didn't think about how I would feel about you saying that and us, huh? But he basically says that he doesn't know if he's moving, that he'll kind of figure it out, and then we can figure out if we want to do long distance or something. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. We're on a fucking road trip. Like, let's just get through this. Now, with this road trip, it's my car. So the plan is for me to drop him off at his aunt's house, and then I go to my dad's house to hang out with my family. And then in the evening time, I was going to go pick him up. We were going to go do something fun at like this little bar thing, and then go to our hotel room. So when I drop him off at his aunt's house, obviously, I go in to meet his aunt. I made sure to cover my tattoos because I knew that his family doesn't like that, which was just another thing that made me feel like scum about myself. So again, when I go in to meet his aunt, she doesn't understand the dynamic, and she's assuming I'm his girlfriend, because why wouldn't you? So I talked to her for a while. She's inviting us both back for more visits in the future. And then I left to go visit my family. Now, fast forward, we went to this cute little like bar where there was a dance floor and people like doing really cool music, like covers of songs, whatever. That was fun. We did that. We had a good time, and then we went to our hotel room. So like through text leading up to this trip, he kept like talking a big game, like acting like we were gonna like have some fun at the hotel room. So I made sure I was ready. Like I made sure I was like, prepped. And okay, the energy really shifted after we had that conversation, because it's like it made him realize like, oh, I guess we're like not gonna be together. So at one point, one of the things that he texted me when we were getting ready for the trip was to bring a toy. Okay, then fast forward, we're in the hotel room. I have like a blow dry brush, right? And when he saw it, he was like, what is that? And I made a joke, and I was like, oh, it's my toy. And he looked so scared. He looked so scared and disgusted. He looked disgusted with me, okay? And I was like, I'm just kidding. So anyway, aside from that, I made sure I was ready in case like we were doing that. And it's like 9 or 10 p.m., whatever. I go to the bathroom, I get, cleaned up and everything for the night. I get into bed, and he's like, I think we should just go to sleep because it's really late. Like usually I go to sleep at like 9 and it's like 10 or something. And in the past, I was always like, okay, I understand why he has a bedtime because, like, he has school and work. But now we're on vacation, bro. We're on vacation. Why do you have a bedtime? So that kind of gave me the ick. But I also was, like, feeling very rejected. And that look of disgust that I was seeing from him, that would not be the last time that I would be seeing that look on his face on this trip. And I'm so sorry, but I have to make a part 3. There's just no way to fit it all. So let me know if you're here for it.